salespeople have to have guts.
Mm-hmm.
There's things you have to do at a kitchen table and you have to do with a homeowner that is really, really severely uncomfortable your first couple times. A lot of people in your realm, in your life that you've friends, acquaintances, family, they don't even know what you do. So just planting that seed, I'm with this type of company, this is what I do, because people want to advocate for people they know. Role playing is so dang important.
Yeah.
You need to know a script. I'm not saying you need to recite the script word for word, but you need to know it word for word, because when you master that script and you can role play in front of your peers, you are now ready to go to the game.
Yeah.
You're ready to sit across from a homeowner and overcome objections and understand.
If you don't know the top objections in your field and how you would respond, already planned, prepped, and you can just, without thinking, spout it off, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You have to know that stuff.
Agreed.
Welcome to the Sales Wars podcast, where we are at war with other companies for our families. We're not at war with the customer. We are at war with the people that are doing inferior work. You know, as a person out there in the trades or in whatever you do, that you are the best at what you do. And if you're not, you better get that way and go to war with the people that are doing inferior work at a cheap price. You need to win for your family, and you need to fight the competitors who are not doing as well as you. And so I had someone ask recently, hey, as a Christian, how do you propose, and your company is all about doing what's right for the customer and loving and serving, but then you have this Sales Wars podcast. Like that feels like you're trying to win and come against the customer. That's not what we do. We come and we serve and we love and we teach the customer why they should not go with the competitor, because if we lose that sale, we feel it's a disservice. We did something that is bad to the customer by not earning their business. Today, we have an amazing guest, Sean McGraw. He is out of Phoenix, Arizona, and he's going to be talking a little bit about his background, how he got into business and his home service company in energy savings, and how he built a really big company in Phoenix, Arizona, who he's working with today, and some names you might recognize that he's doing training for. Sean, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad
Absolutely.
to be here.
Yeah, man. How was the drive down?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
a little accident on the freeway, so
Yeah.
I showed up 10 minutes late, but I love driving out to Tucson.
Cool. Welcome. You get to see the mountains here.
Yeah,
It's
I
awesome.
do. It's beautiful down here.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into sales, and then starting your own business. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, so I like to start with this. I'm 38 years old. I've got 38 years of home improvement experience. So I grew up in a family business. My dad owned a company called Renewal by Anderson in Detroit area, Michigan, and surrounding areas. And that's where I cut my teeth. So I think when I was 13 or 14, I started a warehouse job. Hopefully he wasn't breaking any child labor laws, but it was awesome. It was great. It got me some experience with guys moving shelves and stocking shelves and prepping jobs for the next day. And then when I got a little bit older, towards the end of high school, I got some training in marketing. So I helped run a canvas crew, knocking on doors, which is tough, but the perfect time in my life to do it. And then before I moved to Arizona, I started training in sales. And Renewal by Anderson has a top-notch, world-class sales training program. They always have. So decided to leave the snow, move to Arizona and the sunshine, go to Arizona State. And while in school, I studied, it was a new program called Sustainability. And I rolled the dice a little bit. I felt I could learn marketing in the real world, and I wanted to learn something a little bit more unique. And I took one class on solar and alternative energy, and I became hooked. So in 2010, I started a company. At the time, it was called Affordable Energy Solutions of Arizona. Quite the mouthful.
Yeah.
But we were dabbling with solar water heating, radiant barriers, insulation, just energy efficiency products. And we had a solar product as well back in 2010. The first couple years, got my teeth kicked in, called my mom and dad every other week saying, I want to quit, I want to move home. Stuck with it, and in 2014-ish, we started growing rapidly, like a rocket ship. We got really heavy into solar panels. And we learned that radiant barrier and solar water heating weren't the answer to slashing people's bills. So we got really, really good at attic sealing, duct sealing, removing insulation, re-insulating, and just we feel like we're best in business at making somebody's house as efficient as possible.
Okay, so you were blending solar and energy efficiency, lowering the bill first, and then getting rid of the rest with solar.
Yeah, so we just had this philosophy, reduce before you produce. And the reason it meant a lot to us is because if you're never consuming the kilowatt in the first place, you don't need this huge solar system on your roof. You're still going to need solar, but let's get it to where it's as efficient as possible, and then let's design a system for you.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is eerily similar to what, and we did not know each other, but exactly what we ended up doing here in Tucson. And so started out with air conditioning, not solar. And air conditioning is the biggest energy hog in the house in Arizona. And then we started finding that people were wanting to get rid of all of their bill. And I was selling at the time a solar powered air conditioner, not using electricity, but it made the AC more efficient if you had a multi-stage compressor, right? So bring the bill down. But by blending those two, you could get the tax credit on the whole deal because every component of the AC was required to run the refrigerant through the solar panel.
Yeah.
And then the ROC came a knocking and they said, hey, you don't have a solar license. Like, it's running refrigerant on the roof. Like, what are you talking about? There's no electricity. I said, get an electrical license. I'm like, there's no electricity. And then I had the owner of the manufacturer who was making the product in Phoenix call them, who knew him, and he still said no. So I
that's the ROC.
Yeah. So I ended up going and getting the electrical license, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing solar now too.
Yep.
And so we ended up pairing it with solar and duct sealing. And our pitch was exactly what you were doing. Everyone else is coming in. They're trying to overwhelm your bills with as many solar panels as they can sell you.
Yep.
Why would you do that? Why would you spend more money to accomplish the same goal? Why don't we spend less and do the same thing?
Agreed.
So my goal is to help homeowners accomplish their goals for as little of their money as possible.
Yep.
And I say, how do you like that? And they're like, I like that. I'm like, cool, let's do that. And you need an air conditioner anyway. So seal the ductwork, high efficiency AC, reduce the bill, top it off with the solar. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And you're doing some things that we weren't at the time, the insulation and the capping of the walls and some fantastic things. But did you find that even doing all of that, sometimes your price was higher total and they still went with that because it was much more beneficial?
100%. So I like to tell homeowners this, we get a lot of calls for comfort concerns. And then when we get to the sale, they say, well, what's the ROI? And I look them in the face and say, well, what's the ROI on being comfortable in the place you spend the majority of time in your life, in your home? And that really clicks with a lot of homeowners. But, I love how you open this podcast episode talking about serving the customer. I just wholeheartedly believe make the home as efficient as possible and then do solar. I've seen so many companies come out and I call it slamming panels, just loading up the roof, every single plane, when a homeowner doesn't always need that. And the benefits of energy efficiency, in my opinion, exceed the benefit of solar. You have comfort, you have higher indoor air quality, and you have lower bills. And you have been in the business long enough to see what utility bills have done since 2010, right? They're sometimes double, triple, and we're in Phoenix where, East Coast, New York, LA, it's astronomical costs. So if we do a really good efficiency job these days, we can slash 15, sometimes even 50% off somebody's bill, depending on how, damaged their home was before we got there.
Now, when you're competing and you have other people who, most solar companies are not doing these other things.
Correct.
Right? So you're coming in with a completely different idea. And what I've found is that if everyone is zigging, you zag. And even though we're doing it for the benefit of them because no one else is doing it or even they can't do it, now you're the only option.
Correct.
And so if I'm going in with air conditioning and once I teach them what is supposed to be done, they only want a company doing a heat load calculation. They only want a company who can seal the ductwork. They only want a company that has this particular product. Well, now you've eliminated the others as competitors because I'm the only one.
Correct.
And that was a beautiful thing when solar was getting all the tax credits and everything. If we line it up with solar and duct seal and the system, we have no competitors.
So that's right. It's a massive differentiator. And when you describe it the way we're talking about it, homeowners do realize this is the right thing to do. Why would I go get, 40 panels when I could get away with 25 and seeing the added benefits of better indoor air quality and comfort? So that worked for a long time. There is something I learned through that process. We would try to start everybody with this energy audit. And oftentimes we'd go do the audit. We'd send a salesperson back out to go over the results when they called us for solar. And sometimes homeowners were just like, hey, this is too much. There's too much here.
Yep.
So I learned a lesson in this. Just give them what they want. Like, start with what they want. But when you're in the home, you would be doing a disservice by not bringing up the other awesome benefits and added services you can give them. And oftentimes they'll say, heck yeah, that makes sense. Let's go that route.
Yeah. I would say that, like, selling is not telling, it's asking the right questions.
It is.
So I think what you just said is you would get a call for solar.
Yes.
And you would want to start with the energy audit, but they fight you on it.
Yep.
Right? So what pops in my head is, okay, you're out there for solar, and you're looking around, you're like, how old is your air conditioner?
Yep.
Do you think that has a lot to do with part of what's, like, causing the electric bill to be high?
Yeah.
Huh. When are you planning on replacing that?
Yep.
Because that's a huge portion of the bill. What's the hottest room in the house?
Yeah.
How dusty is the house?
Yep.
Right? And as you touch on these things, when they say yes, it's like, do you want to fix it? Like, the master bedroom's hot. How much does that bother you? On a scale of 1 to 10, if that was fixed, how amazing would that be?
Yep.
And then I always try to pull back a little bit. If I get an 8 to a 10, I just like, it sounds like that's really important, but that's not why I'm here. So we can just move over here. And I try to walk away from it and see if they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Stop.
Yep.
Oh, well, by the way, if you seal the ductwork, how much does that reduce the AC and heating portion of the bill? Right? Statistically, 90+% of AC systems in Arizona leak.
Yeah.
Of them, they leak an average of 30 to 40%. So if you have a 20 SEER air conditioner that leaks 30% in Arizona, that cuts the SEER down to a 10.6.
Yep.
Wow, that means it doubles the bill just having the ducts leaking. So we could potentially seal the ductwork, get an AC, even a mediocre AC, and then drastically less on the solar. You mean the other solar guys didn't talk about that? Huh. I hope they're not just trying to sell you as many panels as they can to make more money.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
I love it. Like the question-based selling, just asking the simple question, why am I here?
Yeah.
What are you dealing with? It's high bills. What contributes to high bills? Your air conditioner is the biggest differentiator between summer and winter in Arizona. Do you want me to pop in the attic and make sure you have enough insulation? Would you rather get this project done at a lower cost and see a bigger outcome? Yeah. Everybody says yes to that. It's just about how you present it and the questions that you ask.
Yeah. You said in 2014, things really started to take off.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, a lot. I decided to learn a lot of lessons the hard way, and I'm the type that when I learn a lesson, I try not to learn it twice. Yeah. So it could be hiring the wrong people, or not having core values in your company, not having standards or KPIs or playbooks. We started to put these things in place, and magic started happening. Like, starting with recruiting. Like, how are we recruiting? Recruiting is the same as generating leads. How quick are you calling the candidate? Yeah. How are you managing? How are you communicating with them? Because if you're logging into Indeed every 2 days, half the candidates that applied are already in the interview process with somebody else. Many of them have already taken another position. Yeah. So just dialing in your structure and your process and your playbook specifically really helped us take things to the next level. And then we found our formula, and we would just plug in where needed. And the other thing that kind of collided at the same time is solar started becoming really advantageous. And I think the early adopters of solar had already bought solar. Yeah. So now you're in that next stage of buyers where instead of saying, oh, solar's ugly, they're driving down their street and they see 5 or 6 systems. It's now normal. Yep. So you started to see the kind of surgence of solar at that time too.
Okay. So right place, right time, and
systems.
Processes, systems. Yep. And then what were you doing for recruiting that shifted who you were getting?
Good question. So we learned a couple lessons in I started in 2010 where we were kind of on the tail end of the Great Recession. Unemployment was high. You were getting an odd type of candidate, but at the time I was trying to post gigs on Craigslist because there wasn't a fee associated with it. And I started seeing the candidates coming into my office and I said, this is not who I'm looking for. Yeah. So the second thing we realized is, man, we were 20 years into the internet at that point. People started producing 100 resumes trying to find a position. People started no-showing interviews. I think the punctuality and the professionalism started to decline in the candidates. So we started doing group interviews.
Interesting.
We started recruiting 20, 30 people at a time, inviting them to come in for a group presentation.
That was back in 2014?
2014,
Wow.
2015, somewhere
Okay.
in there. And what we found was instead of stacking 10 interviews a day and having 4 people show up and wasting a hiring manager's time,
Yep.
we'd get them all in a room and we'd go through a presentation designed to weed them out. So at the time we were hiring for commission-based door knockers in solar.
Okay.
You know, you've spent time in solar. Solar was extremely lucrative. But we want people that are willing to take a gamble on themselves. And so we asked a series of questions. Hey, are you okay knocking on doors? Some hands would go up. Some hands would stay down. Okay, if that's not for you, you're free to go. And then we'd ask a couple more questions. Are you okay with commission only? Some hands would go up. Hey, this is what I'm used to. I have faith in myself. I know I can crush it in this. They'd stick around and the other people would leave. And then I can't remember the third question, but at the end of it, it created this product of people. Let's say there's still 5, 6 people in the room, sometimes 10. We'd break them out into one-to-ones and really dive deep into who they were, what they were looking for. And we grew a pretty massive sales team through that process over the next 6 years.
Multi-state, right?
Multi-state. So at the time, we're a smaller company today than we were in 2022. But we had an office in Arizona, we had one in Las Vegas, we had one in Tampa, and then one in New Jersey. And we had door-to-door teams in those states. And then we would do other common practices in solar. We'd do what we call blitzes in different areas throughout the country that maybe weren't tapped in solar. And we had one national partner that was doing the installation for us. So the same team, well, different team, boots on the ground, but the same corporate team that we were working with, the same financing. We tried to design it so we could deliver a really top-notch product in a lot of different places.
Okay. So you built a system on the sales side for the door knocking.
Yep.
Did you ever go out with those guys?
Oh, I've knocked on a lot of doors.
Okay, tell me about your process. Like you're not like how you systemize the neighborhoods or whatever, but like actually you get to the house.
Yeah.
What are you doing when you get to the door?
Yeah, so my personal experience, I would mostly work around job sites. So, I'm running the company at the time, but still spending a little bit of time with my team. I went out with my partner and a couple other guys to California, and that was just cold doors. But when you're working around a job site, you have some things going for you. You've got trucks on the road. You've got construction happening right in front of you. You've got panels being lifted. There's a ladder on the front of the house, and people are passing panels up. And people are nosy. People want to know what their neighbors are doing. Yeah. And the term keeping up with the Joneses is so flippin' real.
That's funny.
It is real.
Yeah.
So, you make an introduction to the homeowner, you drop off information, you say, hey, I'm actually down the street working with Joe and Sally's house. You probably noticed the trucks outside. Do you know Joe? Oh, you do? Great. This is what we were able to do for him. And we do the same thing on the energy efficiency side. So I call it mining for gold. So Arizona, they've been production building out here since since like the 1940s. And when you find one home that has massive efficiency issues, you can look around and know and understand that all 1,200 homes built that same year by the same contractor have those exact same issues. So we like to target areas that we know are going to be a good fit, and we can really serve those homeowners.
You still do door knocking today?
We
Not
do
you, but your team?
on the efficiency side.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so ideally, if you're doing work in that neighborhood, that's not always possible. So then let's say you're not doing work in the neighborhood, then how's it go?
Yeah, so again, we look at what is our demographic, what kind of homes are going to need our help. So selecting area is super important. You want to select an area that has, there's a lot of public data out there. You want an area that's not super affluent, but you want an area that has good credit, right?
Yeah.
So maybe some nicer cars in the driveway, some pretty decent homes, well-kept homes. You want to find the age of home that you're looking for. So different industries might have different criteria. So if I'm a roofer and I know this community was built 25 years ago or 20 years ago, I'm going to get a jump on that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That roof is failing after 20 years if it's a 25-year shingle roof. And a tile roof, the underlayment's probably going bad. So I would specifically target those areas, and I would craft a pitch around what's actually happening. And the beautiful thing about that is a lot of times those homeowners in that age of home see several different roofing companies going and replacing roofs, and they start to notice that. So it's already in their subconscious that, hey, these roofs are probably going bad. I'm probably going to have to look at that. And to me, the most important, most beautiful thing about door knocking is they're non-competitive leads.
Yeah.
So you're not running into people that are getting 25 bids. Right? They trust you because you're in their community working with their neighbors.
Yeah.
But, on top of that, you're finding, I think a lot of people are naturally procrastinators. So they know they need to get a project done, but they just don't take the action to do it.
Yeah.
So you're early to catch them. And, they answer the door and they're like, this has been on my list. I do have a hot house, or my air conditioner is 25 years old. Yeah, why don't you give me an estimate?
Okay. So let's just pretend I'm opening the door. You're knocking on it.
Yeah.
And roll me through this. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if I'm using a really good tool, I could have your name already preloaded. I could have a lot of information about you. But hey, are you the homeowner?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I'm just stopping by. Did you see the trucks a couple doors down at Joe and Sally's house?
Yeah.
You did? Do you know what we're doing over there?
No.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Making a lot of noise though.
Exactly why I'm here. So, apologize for the noise. We're actually installing a brand new solar system for them. They had really high bills, and we're doing some energy efficiency work. We found some low insulation. We found some duct issues. So, reason I'm stopping by is your house was built by the same builder in the same year as Joe and Sally's, and all we're doing today is giving some information to homeowners, and we're offering free energy audits. We're doing energy audits for everybody. This is what we found in their house, and you get to it. And when you get resistance, you start asking questions.
So what do you do for an energy audit?
So an energy audit's really awesome. So it's a full-blown BPI test. BPI stands for Building Performance Institute. And we set up a blower door test. We kind of suck all the air out of the house, which allows us to understand how leaky your home is.
Am I going to be able to breathe?
Oh, you'll be able to breathe just fine.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, hey, if you're in the house, when we're running that test, you can feel areas where you've got air coming from the outside into your home. You can feel drafts. We can detect how much duct leakage you have at almost every duct supply vent in the entire house. We'll pop up in the attic. We're going to check your insulation. We're going to take some basic notes on your air conditioner, your water heater, and the age. And we're going to give you a full report. It's really cool. It's pass-fail. It's based on Energy Star standards. For anything that you pass, I'm going to give you a nice pat on the back, give you a gold star. For anything that you fail, we're going to show you what it would cost to fix. And then the coolest part is we're going to show you what tax credits and rebates you would qualify for. Did you know there was tax credits and rebates, Andrew?
No, I had no idea.
That's perfect. Exactly.
How long does all this take?
Yeah, so we get the audit done in about an hour, and then we come back and we go over the results with you.
Okay.
Are you with APS or SRP?
APS.
APS, awesome. Are you familiar with the Home Performance with Energy Star program?
Nope.
So this is a cool thing. There's a line item on your bill. I think it's called the Environmental Benefits Surcharge. You're actually paying into this program every month, and the people that go through and take advantage of the rebates are the only ones getting some of that money back.
And it's free.
It's free. No cost.
catch.
No catch.
Huh. Are you doing it right now, or are we scheduling for later?
No, depends. I've got a guy down the street. We can do it right now. But what I'll tell you is, when you get this information, a lot of people ask us, well, Sean, how do you guys make money? Great question, Andrew. We educate so many homeowners. Most families say, hey, this is great. The rebates are awesome. Your price is right. We love your company. We're going to have you do the work. And some take the report and do it themselves. We're totally okay with that. We are educators, and we believe we are best in business. So majority of people select us as their contractor.
Cool. Okay.
Did you sign up with me or not?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, cool. Kind of want to give you some. I didn't give you many objections. I kind of want to play with it and see how you.
It's been a while since I've been on the door. So
yeah, for sure. You've been running
that.
the company.
Yeah.
I understand.
But you know what? When we do get objections, you brought something up way earlier. There's a lot of questions you can ask to prompt somebody to take action. Like, so you asked me a question earlier that's really, really, we use it in our pitch. How old of a home do you live in? Mm-hmm. And they say 1980s. Hey, great. That's actually exactly why this program exists. in the 1980s, there weren't energy standards in Arizona. They just kind of blew insulation and moved on to the next house. So we're here to just deliver information to you, and what you decide to do with it's totally up to you.
Okay. Question-based selling.
Question-based selling.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And so in Phoenix, you've got your teams doing that. You're not really doing much in the way of solar?
We are doing solar. We've got a great reputation. We've got thousands of 5-star reviews. We get a lot of second look solar calls. Like, hey, this guy knocked on my door. I don't really trust them. They didn't have a website, or they had 1 star on Yelp. So we do take those and go present those, but we don't market for solar the same way we did. It's it's unfortunate, but I've seen a lot of fraud in the solar space. I've seen a lot of bad actors. I've seen a lot of companies go under. And so there is a very high resistance on the homeowner side to solar. And we just decided we're best in business with energy efficiency. Let's focus on that. Let's market for that, and let's grow with that.
Good. And right now, I mean, I know the bills are going up. I think I calculated, so Tucson Electric Power, since COVID, after their next increase, will have gone up 77% in compounding increases.
Yep.
So that's sometimes it's 6%, sometimes it's 8%, sometimes it's 14%. But if you take from 2020 all the way through the increase I think they're having in September, and just add and add and add, that compound increase is a total of 77% in 6 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So even though the tax credits are not here, unless you're leasing under a business, or I heard some people are like making the homeowner an LLC, and then they're leasing because the business can still get it and take the tax credit under the business. Outside of that, even with the 30% gone, the bills have gone up so much that it still makes sense for the people that are staying in their home long term.
Yeah, it does. Solar works flat out. Let's get that out of the way. The product is amazing, but there are things that change the strategy you're using. Like, you're in TEP down here. The strategy is different than we have APS and SRP up in the valley. And it depends on their rate structure. It depends on how they're billing you. But there's a big play with batteries.
Yep.
And if somebody's on a demand charge or a time of use plan, there's ways to deploy batteries and see some massive savings, and having backup power when the power goes out.
So you're talking about batteries without solar?
You can do it with or without solar. I'm a big fan of solar. I'd like to include it every time, but there are occasions where you can deploy a battery in somebody's home, charge it in the off-peak, discharge it on-peak. Yeah. You can do things like supercooling if you're on an on-peak, off-peak plan. But in order to supercool, you've got to have a really energy-efficient home. You've got to be well-insulated. You've got to have, double-pane windows. But with those two things, homeowners can save hundreds of dollars a month in the summertime.
Yeah. So when we're talking about supercooling, we're talking about cooling off a lot in the morning or in the evening time when it doesn't take that much to cool the house because it's already cooler off outside. You supercool it down, it holds the cold in because the house is very efficient. If you only had the battery and not the solar, you time it to where you pull power from the grid and you store it in the battery, and then you only use the battery power when the grid power is super expensive. And by basically gaming the system and helping the electric company out, because when they have to turn all of their turbines on at once, it costs them a lot more. That's why they charge a lot more. So we're using their system, time of use, and the battery, and the efficient home, and the efficient AC to maximize reduction in your bill. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool that some of these systems have come out and had the timers on them, even without solar. I love solar. I have solar in my house. I have a battery on my house. Got very efficient ACs. But if someone couldn't afford all of that at one time, you can kind of piecemeal it together and do what you can do.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's products out there like pool pumps, and you can buy timers for water heaters and even EV chargers. If you have a Tesla, for instance, there's a way to program the app not to kick on until that off-peak time, which might be 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. Who cares? Your car's plugged in for the evening, and it'll just save you some money by doing that. But yeah, utility, there's some certainties in life. Death, taxes, and your utility bill is never going to go down. That's just how it is. And I think people should really be as efficient as possible and look at some of these things, because people are stretched right now. We talked about it before the podcast started. People are gripping onto their money harder than I've seen in 16 years in business.
Absolutely. I'm seeing that in air conditioning and repairs and plumbing, everything that we're doing right now. People are holding on tight.
Yep. So I think, before when people had a little bit more disposable income, they would replace an air conditioner. They would be proactive. And I think what we're seeing now is people putting off projects, or instead of replacing an air conditioner when they should, they might fix it for a lower cost.
Yeah.
Just in the long run, spending more money on the problem. And it's something that companies like mine and companies like yours need to combat every day.
And are you seeing credit declines more than you have as well?
Yep, we're seeing an uptick in credit declines. Even people with decent credit, their debt to income might be out of whack. I talked to a buddy the other day who's got a really awesome company in Michigan, and he had 27% credit declines last month, which is the highest I've heard.
Yeah. What kind of company?
Home improvement company, windows and
Okay.
baths.
Okay. And so how do you deal with that? So we're dealing with this all the time, right? We're dealing with people holding on tight. Let's say they had the credit, and they don't want to spend the money, but they're also like, oh, I don't like financing things. Like, how do you go about dealing with those objections?
Yeah, good question. So on the financing piece, I train my reps to, when they approach the house, their eyes are open. It's the old rapport building kind of mechanism. If you see a Pittsburgh Steeler flag in the front yard and you've been to Pittsburgh, like, talk about it.
Yeah.
People love to talk about things they care about.
Yeah.
But look at other things, like, is there a new car in the driveway with a dealer plate on it? Bring it up.
Yeah.
Ask if they paid cash or financed. A lot of people that say they're scared of financing have a mortgage and finance vehicles.
Right.
So you have to be able to talk about that without threatening a homeowner, without saying it in a way that upsets them. But then there are people that just refuse to finance. They lost maybe their house in '08. They just learned their lesson and they're not going to do it. So financing is your friend, but it's certainly not used every time. I think we finance 65 to 75% of projects.
Okay. So once in a while, I'll get a customer that is like just sold out to the Dave Ramsey philosophy.
Oh yeah, we get those.
And that's fine. And typically what I do is I say, absolutely, I totally get it. I don't have any like ongoing credit cards. I don't have any vehicles that I've got payments on. I totally get it.
Yep.
I still financed my house, right? And so have you heard of Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah.
Right? And so let's just have you be the customer, right? So have you heard of Robert Kiyosaki? And they say, oh, I don't know. I say, well, Robert Kiyosaki and Dave Ramsey are friends.
Yep.
And they are both right, and they cater to different people. So Dave Ramsey's philosophy is don't finance anything, save up for a house. And Robert Kiyosaki also is very wealthy, and he thinks that's stupid.
Yep.
And they're friends, but they disagree on this. Dave Ramsey, hey, save up, try to buy a house cash if you can, right? Or try to buy an investment property cash. The problem is by the time you save it up, that house is now twice as much as what it was, or you never, ever save it up. Robert Kiyosaki would say, okay, if you can buy that house, and your mortgage is $1,000, and you can rent it for $2,000, that debt is really good.
Yep.
Dave Ramsey says any debt other than your house is bad, your main house. And so the thing is that they're both right and catering to different people.
Yes.
Dave Ramsey is catering to people who don't have a high level of financial literacy, right? They're just had horrible credit card debt. Average credit card debt in the country is like $43,000, and it just revolves, and it's high interest, really, really bad. Robert Kiyosaki is business owner, investor, and teaching people to leverage debt to get lots of real estate, or finance in business, and then make money with that differential.
Yes.
Because if I can finance a house for 6% and the inflation in the country is 15%, I'm gaining value on that, and the renter is paying that house down.
Yes.
And so what I'm proposing to you with the solar is that you're already paying the electric company. In fact, if you look at it like this, the electric company financed their infrastructure. You're paying the interest for the electric company's infrastructure, and they keep raising the interest.
Yep.
So why don't we not do that? Because they keep raising your interest. This year, they're raising it 14%.
Yep.
And why don't we finance it yourself for a lower payment than you're currently paying them, or even the same amount you're currently paying them, and then when they raise the interest on everyone else, you're still over here. You're still in debt. You're just in debt to the electric company. You just didn't look at it like that.
Yep.
Let's act like Robert Kiyosaki teaches and buy a house for $1,000 mortgage and rent it for $2,000, because that's what happens with solar or high efficiency AC. And then you leverage the difference, and in 10 years, everyone else is here and you're down here, and eventually it goes away. Theirs never goes away.
Yep.
So you're forever indebted to the electric company.
So that's a great pitch, and we would give a version of that. That is how you explain it. And instead of wadding up $300 a month and giving it to your utility company, why not pay off an asset that's on your roof that you own? And that lands with a lot of people. And, it is a tougher sale converting a Dave Ramsey
For sure.
follower, but it can be done 100%. And it matters to them.
There's a lot of wealthy people teaching finance in very different ways.
Correct.
And they're just for different crowds. You've got Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, you've got Pace Morby with Creative Finance, Dave Ramsey. And if you've been in credit card debt and you can't control yourself and you treat it like it's a casino, you need Dave Ramsey.
Yes.
100%. But if you're a business owner or you're a smart investor, you're never going to create wealth with not leveraging debt. Like that's how, yeah.
Look, I know a lot of people that I haven't seen many people get really wealthy following the Dave Ramsey strategy.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are people that those are things that they struggle with, and that's the correct path for them. And they're much better off for it, right? But for those that are educated, certainly business owners, same in business, I don't see a lot of really successful businesses not leveraging debt. I just don't.
Yeah. It's very difficult.
It is.
Yeah. And we actually, in the very beginning, I was buying all my vehicles cash.
Yep.
Like I was not financing any vehicles at all. We would go, we'd buy a old U-Haul, 80,000 miles, and we'd spend $5 to $10,000 and just write a check for it, wrap it, rack it, and then we'd have that for use.
Yep.
Eventually, those vehicles, especially during COVID, I went from spending 5 to 10 on a used 80 to 100,000 mile vehicle, and they're $40,000 now. Like it's a very different scenario. And so I know a lot of the larger companies, they will lease the vehicle and then they'll just turn them over and they have brand new vehicles for their guys all the time. And they leverage that and just like, oh, it's $800 a month, but that truck makes this much per month. And this is a smart way to do things.
Yeah. I mean, this is our mutual friend, Tommy Mello, talks a lot about this.
Yeah.
Number one, your guys like being in a new vehicle. They're proud of the company they're with. They enjoy, it's their office.
Yeah.
Right? They have a nice office instead of driving a 1995 beater that, by the way, you might spend more and fix it than you would have just leasing a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
And I actually got to that point where I was spending $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in fixing vehicles. Not a month, I'm sorry, over a longer period of time than that. But fixing vehicles rather than doing the right thing and leasing, giving my people something they could be proud of, and having a rolling billboard, moving around the valley all the time.
Yeah. So you talked earlier about finding the right people. Group interviews is something that we started doing in the last year, and it's completely changed everything that we're doing. We learned from Jonathan Wisman with Who Hire, and he taught us a really strategic group interview process that has changed everything.
Yeah.
And so we basically port in from Indeed and these other things into his system. It does videos and scans it with AI and grades them, and then they get from there into the group interview, and it just refines the process and has allowed us to hire a ton of people that are higher caliber than we had, and with a lot less pain from the managers. So and then you get them in the right vehicle so they stay, right? They like the culture. You can't just bring them on and then be losing people all along the way. You have to bring on the right people with the right process, and then have the right culture and the right vehicle and all of that. And so it's who, not how.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Great book.
And absolutely. As we're talking, I'm thinking about all the different books that correlate with it. Like we've talked about Blue Ocean Strategy and getting in the blue, crystal blue waters where no one else can compete because our product is so different. No one else has the matchup that they want. We've talked about Tommy Mello. His books are amazing.
They are. And
I'm hoping that I'm working with his assistant right now to get him down here on the podcast later in the year, and excited to talk with him. So I'm thinking through all the different books as we're mowing through this. It's good stuff.
There's a lot. Look, like if you're a student for life and you're always absorbing new information, you can deploy a lot of that good stuff in your business. And when I look around at business leaders I admire and companies I admire, it's always the leader is always studious, always reading, always collecting information. Tommy's a pretty special guy because he will get an idea, he will deploy it immediately, and then if it's working, great, he sticks with it, but he's not afraid to just abandon quickly. That guy's ability to implement and move is like nobody I've ever seen.
Now, you've been doing some stuff recently with that company?
Yeah.
With Tommy?
So Tommy's been one of my closest friends for about 10 years, and he's grown A1. When I met Tommy, he was doing 17 million in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will do 400. He's the biggest garage door company in the nation at this point,
Yeah.
and there's a reason why. The things I've seen him do over the last 10 years are unlike anything I've ever seen out of anybody, and it's just really admirable, and it's really really awesome to just know him the way I do. But yeah, so he started a family office and has investments in some home improvement, home service type companies. So I work with some of those companies.
Okay.
And then I've helped him deploy some things at A1, which has been really fun to see.
Oh, cool.
I've got a program called Army of Advocates where you get all your people, and when you have a huge team, it works even better. But you produce content, I produce content.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have your entire team share that content and just cast a wider net and turn them into, I believe, every single person in the company, from the installer to the person cleaning the office to the CEO to the person answering the phone, should be a marketer for your company in and out of the office.
How do you get them to do that? That's amazing, by the way. And
Yep.
how? I want my people doing that.
Yeah. So, well, you've got to make it fun. You've got to incentivize them. So I rolled this out during COVID. I mean, you were in business during COVID. A lot of the listeners were in business during COVID. In Arizona specifically, I remember when Doug Ducey basically shut everything down.
Yeah.
I think it was March 13th, 2020. I shot a video to my team. I said, look, guys, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. We're in uncharted territory. But what I do know is that if we band together and we row in the same direction, we can keep afloat. We can get through this. And that's what we did. So part of it was we incentivized our people to recruit. So we had a number that we would give them if they brought a really high caliber person in the office and they stuck around. And then we incentivized them to generate leads. And social media, somebody's own personal network, is such an untapped resource because people don't know how to do it. And I'll give you one little nugget. A lot of people in your realm, in your life that you've, friends, acquaintances, family, they don't even know what you do. And you might be a little different because you produce content and you're a very well-connected guy, but a lot of people that work for me, their friends, their family, they did not know what kind of company they worked for. So just planting that seed, I'm with this type of company, this is what I do, because people want to advocate for people they know. You'd rather go through a friend or family member than you would calling a strange company off of the yellow pages. And so it's this whole strategy around plant the seed. Don't ever sell your network. Don't do that. Don't spam them. That's never going to land. And it doesn't feel good when a friend does that to you. But let them know who you're with. Like I train my people to send a text to their friends and family, as many as they want to send. And it's simply, hey, John, Sean here with 4Energy. I know we haven't talked in a while. Just want to let you know I made a career change. I'm in the solar space. I'm not asking for your business, but I just ask this. If it's ever something on your radar, I'm happy to answer questions for you. But more importantly, if you ever hear somebody talking about it, I'd sure appreciate you referring me. That's it. Because that person now knows what you do. And when the time comes for them or for somebody in their network, they want to see you win. And then you couple that with sharing the company's social media, and there's a whole strategy behind it. Be a whole other session.
Okay. I definitely want to hear more about that, but if it's another session, we can.
I'll send you the playbook, but
Yeah,
it
man.
really does work. But you like, it all starts with this. You've got to have people that are proud of the company they work with. You've got to have them display on their own social media that they're very proud of the company, because on top of that, people like working with people that are successful and people that love the company they're with.
Yeah.
And that by itself generates more leads.
Okay. I like that.
One more thing on that. Video testimonials with the customer. So I train my reps. We used to do this a lot in solar. We're not doing it as much anymore, but we've got to get back to it. When you sell a customer and they're super excited about the project, take your phone. Hey guys, Sean here with 4Energy. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. What are you most excited for about getting this work done? And get them to say it.
Okay.
It is so dang powerful. And again, you cast that to your own network and they see, hey, you're being successful. You're posting this every couple weeks. Like, I'm seeing this, I'm absorbing this content. And homeowners must love it. What do you have? I want to know what you have. Come look at my house.
Are you doing that instead of the Google review?
We're doing both.
In both, okay.
Yeah, so look, I'm a big believer in getting, squeezing as much of the lemon as you possibly can. And homeowners that do business with you, they want to see you win. So oftentimes we would ask for a Google review. We'd ask for a Yelp review if they're a Yelper, a BBB review. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And when you get them on the yes train, you just get them on your side, and they want to support you. And oftentimes they do more than just the review.
I'm thinking about actually Tommy again. I follow his social media, obviously, and one of the things that he compares is sales versus marketing. And sales right now, if someone is getting 10 estimates, you have to be phenomenal to be able to close at the margins that you need to stay in business from coming against 10 other companies. And that's the market we're in right now. People are getting 10 estimates for an air conditioner. I'm like, how do you have the time?
Yeah.
Right? But they're doing that. And then the economy's down. People are holding on to their money, so they're leaning toward cheaper options, even if it's not the best. But marketing, we have had people, once we started doing our radio ads and we came out and just said, hey, at Intelligent Design, we believe in the glory of an intelligent designer, and like just blasted it on the radio. We come out with a little factoid that talks about intelligent design as opposed to the theory of evolution that has been proven false now. And we hammer on that on the radio. And we started having people call us and say, I'm not getting other quotes. I'm going with you. You sound smarter. You sound like you're more intelligent. And it is vastly different than if you go to Angie's List or one of these others and you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why did you? Oh yeah, I got 10 people coming. Angie's referred me to 10 people. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
a
tough.
battle.
It is a
battle.
battle.
And so our entire strategy is shifting more toward marketing than sales. And I'm like, I cut my teeth on marketed leads. They're getting 3 to 5 estimates, and we're shifting everything away from that to giving people a nice, soft, warm lead in, because you can have a mediocre salesperson close if the marketing is right.
Yeah, this is just a personal belief of mine. You know, sales and marketing are obviously, there is no aspect of a business that's less important than the other, because they're all gears that work together to produce a happy customer. But again, when I look around the room and see businesses and business leaders that I admire, they're phenomenal salespeople, but that's not their focus. It is being a master marketer. And the companies that make it to there is no top, but those top tier companies, they are masters at marketing. They develop a very strong brand that creates trust. Their messaging is on point, and ultimately it does come down to that trust. They trust A1 or they trust intelligent design because of the message that you're putting out to the community. And it matters so much. And then on the individual level, so we talk about canvassing, and you know, a lot of my canvassers over the years have a way better pitch than me. They've knocked thousands and thousands of more doors than I have. But that person and their skill set and their ability to communicate and get somebody excited and they're enthusiastic and they get an appointment set, they'll have a higher success rate when it goes to sell every single time, regardless of what sales rep runs that appointment.
Yeah. You definitely need both. If you are not studying the craft of sales and psychology and like reading and studying, and more than that, you don't learn how to ride a bike by watching someone on TV do it.
No.
You have to actually get on the bike and fall. So role play as you learn and study, and then role play. You've got to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
And another friend of ours, Brian Burton, with Blue Collar Closer, man, the system that he built in the school community, that it's, I'll give a little pitch for you, Brian, but man, he built an AI system where you can actually role play with the AI. He ported in 400 of his, I think it's 400 podcasts, and all this data into the AI, and the AI will straight role play with you, and you can sharpen your skills and get better, and then it grades you, and then you're competing against the other people in the community.
Yeah.
Have you looked at that?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. I love Brian. I'm not shocked that he produced a product like that. But look, like when it comes to sales or marketing, any individual that's playing the game, like a lot of people on the sales side especially, they practice in the game. They practice at the kitchen table with a homeowner. Yeah. And those guys are going to fizzle out or fail because Michael Jordan didn't just practice in the game. He got hours and hours in the gym outside of it, to the point that, you know, he could hit a shot from any area of the court because he's practiced it so many times. Yeah. And when it comes to salespeople and marketers that are face-to-face, role-playing is so dang important. Yeah. Because I have this firm belief that you need to know a script. I'm not saying you need to recite the script word for word, but you need to know it word for word. Because when you master that script and you can role-play in front of your peers, you are now ready to go to the game. Yeah. You're ready to sit across from a homeowner and overcome objections and understand different situations that you could come across and know how to take it past that.
Yeah. If you don't know the top objections in your field and how you would respond, already planned, prepped, and you can just, without thinking, spout it off, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You have to know that stuff.
Agreed.
You have to know that I need to sleep on it or pray about it or talk to my spouse or smoke screens.
Yeah.
And you really actually, it's the price. Because if it was $1, would you buy it right now?
Yeah.
Right? If you don't know how to respond to those, you've got to really sharpen your skills.
Totally agreed.
Asking for the business. Statistically, 85% of people don't actually ask for the close.
Yep.
And so how do you ask for the close?
Personally, well, I'll say this. Salespeople have to have guts.
Mm-hmm.
There's things you have to do at a kitchen table and you have to do with a homeowner that is really, really severely uncomfortable your first couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an old saying in sales, when you present price, you shut up and you just wait. Mm-hmm. First person to talk loses,
mm-hmm.
right? And when you're sitting there for those sometimes 5 seconds, it seems like 5 minutes.
Yep.
It's really uncomfortable. And then just simply asking for the business and asking questions like, hey, if you know you like the price, you like me, you like the company,
mm-hmm.
is this something you'd move forward with? Great. You get a pre-commitment,
yep.
and then you're always able to bring that pre-commitment up at the close. Yep. So there's a lot of ways to do it.
So that pre-commitment you're doing in the beginning of the appointment?
Somewhere throughout the presentation. So I believe in 10-step selling. Different companies have different steps to the process.
Okay.
But look, if you have a well-crafted process for sales, you are number one, you're asking a lot of questions, and the answers to those questions are telling you how you need to adapt and sell that particular, or influence that customer to say yes. Mm-hmm. But you're overcoming objections throughout the entire presentation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I don't care what your price is. Is it $5,000? Is it $50,000? Doesn't matter to me. If it's
mm-hmm.
$50,000, you got to give a $60,000 presentation. You've got to build value in the company, the salesperson, the product, the warranty, all of it. And if you do that properly, there are people that will just say yes when you're at the end. But look, the yeses are 10% of the time if you're really good. For 20 to 30 additional people, you've got to be able to overcome objections. You've got to be able to address their concerns and have more conversation. And then 10 out of 10 times, anybody you sell, the last part of the process is button up. You've got to button up that sale. You've got to take them from up here, I just signed, I'm a little nervous, to reality and get them re-excited about the project. Like, Andrew, what are you most excited about moving forward with this project?
That's good.
You also ask questions like, who's the first, because after you sell, there's a 3-day right to rescind, and maybe you're not installing it right away, so you've got to overcome some future objections.
Yep.
Andrew, who are you going to tell about this project first? Who are you going to tell about it? Your parents, your sibling, your neighbor? What are you going to say?
Okay.
And what do you think they're going to ask you? What are they going to ask you? They're going to ask you how much it costs.
That's right.
So you prep them to combat that and be comfortable with you and the company and solidify that sale, not just at that moment, but for days after.
Okay. That's good stuff. Just thinking of my next training with my technicians and just implementing that for that button up. I love that.
Button up, post close. Mm-hmm. It's great. It saves deals.
Yeah. And the more things go up in price, the more objection people who don't understand today's prices are going to have. Yep. So if they bought a system 3, 4, 5 years ago or the same setup, they're going to lose their mind at what things cost today versus 5 years ago.
Oh, that's a big problem in itself. You know, I've got 10,000 leads and customers from previous years in business. Yeah. And so for some of those demo no sales, you call them back and you try to get them back on the books and the price is triple because I met with them in 2019.
Yep.
It's tough to overcome, but can it be done? Of course, but it is harder.
I've got some real fun ones where they've been a customer for a long time. They did one system with us and they chose not to do the other ones.
Yeah.
And then for COVID, pre-COVID, we had about an 8% year-over-year price increase. And so that means the price doubles every 10 years, right? In COVID, the price doubled in 2 years. And so you get someone that is pre and post, and they're like, "Oh, I bought my system for $8,000." And I'm like, "It's 25, right? I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but that system was 8, and then up and up and up and up." And so, like my cheapest bottom dollar system today is, I mean, for an AC only 10 to 12. You throw in a furnace, more than that. Like
Yep.
you're seeing some of the major companies where their base system is 18.
Yeah.
And their top of the line with IAQ and everything can be close to 40.
Oh yeah.
And people are losing their minds.
I just talked to somebody who spent, I think, 60 grand on 2 units.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's eye-opening for homeowners. But, back to marketing, there's always an opportunity when something external is happening that you have zero control over to market and capture more customers before that event takes place. So in solar, I mean, every solar company in the world, hey, the tax credit's changing or the utility's changing rates.
So
and
good.
You'd have these big external forces that allowed you to push customers over the finish line, and that would impact sales tremendously.
Yeah.
So we're not the best at this, but talking to you, I want to get better. When we get a price increase, why are we not just hammering the phones and shooting text messages to everybody we gave a bid to that didn't say yes?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes that's enough to get them over the threshold.
Yeah. So we were talking about asking for the close. Do you have some favorite ways to cross the finish line and ask? For me, I like either an assumptive or I like a choice.
Yeah.
That's just I either like, hey, okay, let's get you on the board for Thursday, or what works best for you. Or usually I have 3 to 5 options, and I whittle. Right. So hypothetically, if you were to choose one of these today, what are you leaning toward?
Yeah.
What are you for sure not? So I eliminate the ones that are not, I whittle down, and then, okay, between the two of these, it's a $2,000 difference. But what are you leaning toward, right?
Yeah.
And so I like the choice close or an assumptive. And before I present all of that, I've got all my 6 options. I'm usually working with a technician at this point who went in on a repair, right? And so we're talking minimum mandatory. We always give them an option to do nothing as long as the system's working.
Yeah.
Right? So your first option is don't do anything.
Yeah.
You don't spend a dime, that's your first option.
Yeah.
Next is minimum repairs to get you closer to factory fresh, get you through another summer. And then I skip all the middle and go all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And I just say, if you got every single thing we talked about, the best system, the best warranty, we got rid of the dust, we balanced the air, we sealed the ductwork, we got everything, that whole package, it doesn't get any higher than this. I can get you everything there as long as you have decent credit for about $8 or $9 a day.
Yeah.
Is that affordable, or would that be completely unreasonable? That would just kill your budget.
Yeah.
And they say, I can afford $8 a day. Okay, so now let's just go through all of it. We know what the minimum is because I gave them the dollars for that, and then let's go through line by line through everything on the best and see what you want to take out. And I trial close each individual item.
Yep.
And then usually by the time I get to the end, I'm either keeping all of it for the $8 or $9 a day, or we're going to pare it down. And then I have the other in-between ones where I can do take away and back off.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when I do that, I just say, hey, I'm not here to sell you any one product. My concern is that you use us because I know we're going to do it the best. I don't care what you buy. I'm the buffet manager. Come on to the buffet.
Yep.
Choose whatever food you like, right? And then I'm going to lay the whole buffet out. Well, we've got the top option with an affordable monthly payment, and that's what they're thinking the whole time I'm going through all of this is, I can afford $8 a day.
Yeah.
And then they get to the total, and it is what it is.
Yep.
But daily, they usually ask what the monthly is. Then I trial close all of the individual. Then you have the total, and they either fall out of their seat with shock, or they say, I can afford that.
Yeah.
So that's...
So it sounds like your price conditioning previous in the appointment, which I love.
Yeah.
I love your option of doing nothing. I love that because it's being on the customer side. It's like sitting next to them, putting your arm around them and saying, hey, look, you don't have to do anything today.
Yep.
But then you show the other options and you show, if you don't do anything today, this could be the potential outcome. And you drive them towards another. So to answer your question, I used to be big on an assumptive close.
Okay.
I think it used to work really well. I think we're in a different environment where, people are meeting with 10 companies, which I think is absurd and insane. I think they should read the book, Buy Back Your Time.
Right.
How much is your time worth to spend an hour and a half with 10 different companies? That's an entire day. Yeah. That's crazy to me. But that's the times we're living in. So I think now I'm a bigger believer, and it's been a while since I've been at the kitchen table. I've run thousands of sales calls, but I got to get back out there, keep the sword sharp.
Yeah.
But options versus ultimatums is a huge deal. So we're working on making a change right now where we used to be, this is the whole package, take it or leave it, buy today and you'll get a discount. And that's kind of it used to work really well, but it's kind of gun to head. People feel pressure. Now it's, what I would do is I'd probably start with the premium package. I'd really price condition that. And then if they're giving me a lot of resistance, I'd say, hey, no worries. Let's look at another option. And then you go to the better, and then you go to the good. So good, better, best.
Yep.
Big fan of that. And by the way, too many options creates analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
So if you're giving 50 different options and you're showing all the different finance plans you have, they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They're flooded. They don't make a decision. So I'm a big believer in 2 or 3, and then just whittling it down to what it is that they're looking for.
Okay. I see a lot of guys doing 6 nowadays. And the goal is not necessarily to show 6. These are service companies showing a repair as option 1, and then something that is our goal is not to sell.
Yeah.
Right? It has everything in it, and the goal is like, hey, we don't even want to sell that.
Yeah.
But it's there so they can see, oh, that's everything, and then they're choosing one of the steps down.
Yeah.
But we are seeing decision fatigue.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many options where they're like, I just don't know. And they're freaking out.
Too many.
Yeah.
So think about it this way. If my wife asks me, where do you want to go to eat tonight? I'm like immediately, I have a lot of favorite restaurants, like a lot, to the point where now I'm overwhelmed. If she says, hey, I'm feeling a steakhouse. What steakhouse do you want to go to? I answer it like that. It's easy for me. It's the same. Like, have you ever gone to Lowe's or Home Depot and picked out colors out of the paint options?
Yeah.
How many do you grab?
I don't. I say, I don't care what color. Wife, you pick that one.
Yeah. Have you ever driven down the road in your neighborhood and seen somebody that's picked a lot and there's like one of each?
Yeah.
They overwhelm themselves. They're not making a quick decision because there's thousands of paint samples, thousands of colors. Now, if you gave somebody 2 and said, which would you prefer?
Yeah.
They're going to select one of the 2.
Yeah, so you said analysis paralysis, right? My favorite saying on that is information constipation.
Yeah.
So don't do that. You get all stopped up. It's no fun. It hurts.
Simplify.
Yeah.
Give people a couple options and they'll typically choose one, even in marketing. So our people are trained to do what's called a decision tree.
I expected a laugh at that, by the way.
It was funny. It was good, yeah. A decision tree is this. Like when we're booking an appointment, like home service companies, we like running same-day appointments.
Yeah.
So my team is going to ask them a series of questions. Hey, looks like we have today at 6 or tomorrow at 10 a.m. Which would you prefer?
Yep.
They're going to give you 1 of 3 answers. They're going to select 6, 10, or that doesn't work.
That's right.
Great. If it doesn't work, collect a little information. Do you guys work during the day, I assume, get home late? Yeah, we get home around 7. Oh, no problem. Looks like tomorrow I've got a 7 and Thursday I have a 7. Which would you prefer?
Yep.
And you're taking them down this path where they're going to select what works best for the company and best for them first available.
Yeah.
Limit options.
So choice close all the way down and then assumptive at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you scheduled. Okay. Do you present the payment first or the total first?
Usually payment.
Okay.
Yep.
You do daily, weekly, monthly? How do you do
So
that?
we present it monthly, but you talked about the daily payment earlier, and it got me thinking.
Yeah.
Is that how we should be presenting it? Because some people, $9 a day, like that seems like a lot, but $149 a month doesn't seem.
So
doesn't seem
$9
crazy.
a day is a lot. That's a monster package.
Yeah, it
because
sounds-
for every 10 grand, I can finance that for $95 a month or $3 a day.
Yep.
That means if they're at $9 a day, that's a $30,000 package.
Yep. So that's why you break it down by the day instead of the month. But for something that's maybe $10,000 to $15,000 ticket, I'd probably go monthly. And then look, depending on the industry you're in, have you ever heard the term anyway dollars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In solar, hey, look, you're spending the money anyway.
Yeah.
Would you rather give it to the utility or would you rather invest it in your home? You can find anyway dollars in a lot of different products. In air
Absolutely.
conditioning, you're trimming their bill, their air quality. There's so many things.
We do that in water treatment.
Totally. That's where I got that term, anyway dollars.
Did you really?
Water treatment, yes.
Okay.
Because look, you're spending all this money on bottled water, on soap, on your appliances die 5 years earlier because you're running crazy hard water through them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you're spending the money anyway. This is almost no money out of pocket.
Yep.
And sometimes you do have to break down how that financially makes sense to somebody, and that's okay. Here's what you're spending on water. Here's what you're spending on soap.
Yep. I absolutely do that. I break it down. I'm a numbers guy, so I'll geek out and do a spreadsheet. Just be like, okay, how much do you spend on you said you're buying bottled water?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what that is. How much, if you were to replace all the appliances and they live half the life, how much does that cost? Oh, it's 20 to 30 grand if you do that.
Yeah.
So if you double the life of your appliances, okay, there's that. And then you have, chlorine is now shown, chlorine and chloramines to cause cancer.
Yep.
In Tucson, we have 508, the safe level of arsenic in the water. You've got plastics in the water.
Yeah.
You've got it's pharmaceuticals. So you have the health ramifications you can't even quantify. And so you add up the bottled water, then you've got the appliances, then you've got the health. Add that up, and it pales in comparison the financed amount for water treatment.
Water treatment is everybody should have it in their house. Like I am
Yep.
such a, like my heart is in it because
Yeah.
of how bad our water is. And I love that industry because you can pull on the health strings, you can pull on the appliances, you can
Yeah.
pull on bottled water and soap and all
Yep.
so many different things. But yeah, it's a game changer.
When I look at, we also sell on energy efficiency. But
Yep.
when I look at the other things that I'm dealing with the air quality and the water quality, indoor air is the number 2 leading cause of lung cancer in the U.S.
Yeah.
Number 1 risk to your health environmentally, surpassing tap water. So
Yep.
you've got tap water, bad. Indoor air quality, worse. And when someone is choosing, for me, an air conditioner, I'm like, no, you got to get the purification. Step down the air conditioner. Your bill might go up a little bit, but if it saves you from this,
Yeah.
if you feel better, sleep better, you don't have the itchy eyes and the runny nose, and you're more energy, and like everything shifts when you're breathing better air. If you pay a little bit more on your electric bill, wouldn't that be worth it to feel better?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't the comfort in the house worth more than having a low bill? Wouldn't you rather balance the airflow, not have the blast on, blast off, not have all the dirt and dust? Like there are things that are more important. And so water quality and air quality, those are the most important things you can have is the health of yourself and your family.
Correct.
Yeah.
Health is the ultimate trump card. I mean, it's priceless. People don't think about it a lot. But
What
when
if they don't like Trump?
Well, yeah. And maybe they won't buy the water. Maybe they won't. But kudos to RFK Jr. Like taking it seriously. Like we are fed horrible foods. We've got horrible water. The EPA says indoor air quality is 3 times worse than the air quality outside. Yeah. Like I do think people at this point in time are very health conscious, and I think a lot of home service companies neglect to focus on air quality, water quality, and just talk about the financial logical stuff.
Yeah.
Because that does move the needle for people.
Yeah. So to everyone watching, yes, I know it doesn't relate to Trump. It's a card game. I got it. So, my family loves my dad jokes.
I do too. They're
my
great.
daughter off in the corner cringing at my.
I've got 2 kids and I'm just getting there.
Yeah. Okay, Sean. So we're going to be bringing this to a close here. Before we do, top 3 to 5 books. If you're a new-ish salesperson, what would you say are your favorites?
Oh, gosh, I've read so many. I would say the 6 Principles of Ethical Influence by Robert Cialdini.
Oh, yeah.
That one changed a lot for me in both sales and marketing and just life in general. I would say the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
For sales.
For sales.
Okay.
I would still to influence somebody is to lead somebody, and I believe leadership and sales intertwine in a lot of ways. And then last but not least, I'd probably say, just because it's kind of fresh, I reread it, Never Split the Difference.
Oh, yeah. It's a classic.
Yep.
All right. So if you have been doing sales, you're thinking about getting into business and starting out on your own, top 3 to 5 business books.
Number 1, The E-Myth.
Yeah.
So that's a book I wish I read 10 years before I read it, before
Yeah.
I started my company. It would have made things a lot easier for me. The next one would be The Go-Giver. Just wholeheartedly believe in the principles in that book, and I think they make you a better human, a better leader, a better business owner. And let's see, last but not least, I'll plug Tommy again. I'll say Elevate by Tommy Mello.
Okay. Awesome one. Okay. So we want the crowd to know where to find you and what you're doing. Like one of the things that I love that you're doing is your charitable works and everything. So talk a little bit about what you're doing for the community at large and the world, and then also where they can find you.
Yeah, awesome. So you can find me online. I'm really easy to find. Sean K. McGraw on every social site. That's SeanKMCGRAW. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You can find me. I deleted TikTok, way too addicting, but you can find me on the others. as far as the philanthropic side goes, I am a personal believer in the better your community is, the better your livelihood can be, the cleaner, the better, the safer your community will be. So why not invest in your community? Like, people in your community are investing in you and your business. Reinvest in them, and rising tide raises all ships. So something that we've done as a company since our foundation is just intertwine philanthropy with the work that we do. So over the years, we've partnered with a lot of great foundations. We've supported veterans. We've supported an amazing company called Give Power, an amazing foundation doing work all over the world. We've worked with local charities that help kids right here in the Valley. And my advice to anybody is, if you're being successful and your company's growing and thriving, take care of the community that you live in, because I promise you it impacts everybody in it, including yourself.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Sean. It's been great having you.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.